welcome to the launch of the Speaker's Corner. It is the first Speaker's Corner in 150 years outside London, and I think it pretty much leads the way with the prospect of more Speaker's Corners going on throughout the country.
Free speech remains a basic right and must be so if our society is to sustain and develop. So fundamentally, I think that Speaker's Corner is an opportunity to ensure that we promote debate and discussion. Debate and discussion with each other and debate and discussion with the decision makers.
If we're in Harare today, which is twinned with Nottingham, we would be breaking the law. This congregation would be breaking the law. And when we consider that kind of environment, we should rejoice that today Nottingham is joining London in having a Speaker's Corner, which is a vanguard when it comes to freedom of expression and freedom of speech. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom of expression, as they say, is like a muscle. If you do not use it, it atrophies. So please use it, and use it loudly and consistently, and make sure that all those around you appreciate the freedom of expression that the Speaker's Corner here will avail. And I hope that we meet in Zimbabwe, in Harare, which is twinned with the city, for the opening of Speaker's Corners there. Thank you.
So there's a very serious intent to what we're doing here. It's rediscovering and revaluing our rights and freedoms. And I see the Speaker's Corner as a space, certainly symbolising those freedoms, providing that platform for the most raw and spontaneous kind of free expression and exchange, but also creating a focus for civic identity and pride.
I am a grandmother of 4 teenagers, hence the grey hairs. I do as much as I can in my local community, as do so many others, to listen to ordinary people. That's why I'm so supportive of Nottingham Speaker's Corner. It will give people a place to come and talk about anything that's bothering them, to share their opinions, to understand that their opinion counts, and it does.
As well as the actual Speaker's Corner itself, today, as we launch it, we've got 6 discussions, debates happening across the city. And that programme will continue in future years. We've set up a committee of local people to own this initiative now and to take it on. And I think that's important for 2 particular reasons. We talk a lot about community cohesion, the lack of it. My view is that it starts with people talking to each other, bringing people back down the garden path into a proper association with themselves, exchanging ideas and opinions. That's the beginning actually of community action.
The programme's been exciting from this first one this morning. Mums coming together in a community centre and debating what's right for them. And I've just heard on the grapevine that they've decided to set up a campaigning, lobbying body to have their voice heard. And then this afternoon we've got young people and older people coming together to look at the best of both worlds.
Perception that the community have of us has also got to change, and it's whether or not they're willing to accept that, all young people aren't like that. Finding out what the elderly people think of us, and finding out, what we think of them. So if we do try and interact, like you said, with the different generations across the board, then you'll be able to understand us as young people, rather than what you see on reading the newspaper or what you see on TV.
I think that's a very good point. I think what our politicians tend to believe in is that if they say things often enough, people will believe that these things are happening. And I think if we are going to get a better understanding, and this applies not just between the generations, but with the different ethnic groups as well, that events have got to be organised so that all the people are involved, all the youngsters, all the elderly.
Nottingham. Nottingham, Nottingham, Nottingham. There's one Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, and some people speak there, okay. But you've got the second one, and that one was made ages ago. So this is the one that's more interesting. And you're doing it in Nottingham. You're setting up a Speaker's Corner. So it's a good thing. So well done, Nottingham. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Have a good time at the Speaker's Corner, and may it live forever.
We're going to consider now where we go from here. We had originally intended to do 2 or 3 at the same time, and I'm really glad we didn't do that. We've concentrated on Nottingham and learned lessons here. and I hope with some of the publicity that today has generated, we might get other towns and cities coming to us and say, oh, quite interested in that.
It has brought a number of us together who are, perhaps we could say we're activists in the city. We want to see the city move forward. And I think we found that common ground to work on, and that is about making this unique project outside of London really work. I think the door opens now today on quite an interesting new opportunities.